Compared to the average person on Earth or to the average soul in the universe, lightworkers are miles ahead of them already. You're more spiritually advanced, more psychologically at ease. The sleepers suppress a lot, which makes them seem level-headed, but they're really not and contributing much more than the average person is. Compared to the average person, you're doing great and you're miles ahead of them. You're also more than good enough. This is both in terms of everyone being inherently good enough and also in terms that you're contributing enough to this liberation effort. Lightworkers are succeeding. This liberation process is working. It's just that it's a complex process and it takes time. But it's working. You are succeeding. Moreover, if you're physically on Earth at this time, you're connected to the collective subconscious of Earth humans, which is currently very dark and heavy. Hence some of the heaviness and so-called negative and painful emotions and thoughts that you're experiencing aren't even your own. So if you occasionally feel bad, that's not even necessarily something that comes from you. You might just be providing a huge service to humanity by transforming and releasing that heaviness for all of humanity. And everyone is benefiting from you doing that. That's not you being bad, that's you being amazing. Also keep in mind that almost everyone is struggling in some way. Most people just aren't open about that. So if you're struggling, well, I empathize with you, but also you're very much not alone. If you're struggling, then you're not the exception, you're the norm. Many people on Earth compare themselves to others. This is understandable because that's what culture and media train you to do. However, there's a reason for the saying, comparisons are the thief of joy. Is there some entrepreneur or lightworkers or spiritual teacher or healer or YouTuber out there who is more spiritually advanced or more successful than you are? Are there people out there who contribute more than you do or who have more peace of mind or more so-called supernatural powers than you do? Yes, most likely. Among a population of billions, it is pretty unlikely for a given person to be the very best in the world at something. If you must compare yourself, please compare yourself to who you were 5 years ago. Most likely you will have learnt a whole bunch of things and you will have grown significantly as a person. Right? So, great job. You're doing very well. Even if your external circumstances now are worse than they were 5 years ago, most likely you will have grown significantly as a person in the meantime. Yes, people are responsible for their lives, but it's also true that the economic situation is very bleak right now. And it's not your fault that, for example, grocery prices have shot up. The external circumstances of Earth humans are almost certainly going to improve dramatically in the future. So even if all you can do right now is hang on, well, that's enough, and any little thing you can do beyond just hanging on. Whether that's spiritual practice or healing work or integration work or journaling, or helping someone or improving your practical situation in some way. I would therefore suggest most strongly to you that you do not focus undue amounts of your attention on this misery-inducing propaganda that is being massively promulgated all across the World Wide Web. You know deep within yourselves that only love is real. However, there are still many confused ones among you who are constantly guided by fear and hatred and who are being misled by the propaganda, whose sole purpose is to promulgate fear and through that fear encourage people to accept unjustified authoritarian control of their lives. You are all divine and sovereign beings created in love from love by Mother or Father or God, so dismiss your fears and choose to engage positively and constantly with love, your true and only nature, and share that engagement with your families and friends not by proselytizing or persuasion, by just being. To just be is extremely powerful, as you well know, even though in your human state you get almost no positive feedback to confirm this. Give thanks and celebrate because your awakening is at hand. At the depths of your being you do know this, you cannot not know it. Because you are, always have been, and always will be divine beings inseparably and eternally united with Mother Father God. You are presently, by your own choice to be incarnate as humans in this moment, experiencing amnesia. You are in a state of almost total forgetfulness of your true nature because of your momentary, insane choice to experience separation from your all-loving divine source. But separation never happened. What you are experiencing is illusory, and your awakening from this unhappy state is divinely assured. You are one with your source, permanently enveloped in the infinite magnificence of her presence because there is nowhere else. There is only God. What else could possibly be needed? By just being, you are most effectively and most powerfully extending and sharing the endless sweep and scope that is all that is. Each and every sentient being is feeling and experiencing the infinite flow of love that never for even a moment ceases to flow throughout God's divine creation. It is this abundance of love that is causing and assuring your awakening. Each single one of you loving just one other soul is massively assisting in the awakening process. Do not look for enormous results in the physical environment as a consequence of your choice to be only loving whatever arises. Just know that your loving intentions are awakening humanity, that every one of you is essential to bringing the awakening process to its full and brilliant fruition. Being lovingly active as a human in your daily lives is also extremely effective because when someone unexpectedly receives your loving smile or words of encouragement, no matter how brief the interaction may seem to be, they are uplifted and inspired because they know that they have been seen. All of you have experienced the feeling and concurrent emotion of not being seen. It's an inevitable aspect of the illusion of separation, and it is very painful. Your loving smile clearly demonstrates to others that you see them, and it is uplifting for them. When you make your essential daily visit to your holy inner sanctuaries, do remind yourselves of any times that you felt unseen, unacknowledged, maybe very many, so that as you recall the painful sense of dismissal that you felt in that moment, you will make a point during the day of actually seeing and acknowledging those with whom you interact, however briefly. Just being and actively seeing are immensely powerful demonstrations of love. You are all presently incarnate to live in awareness, mindfully sharing the love that you are, and because it is so amazingly powerful, it greatly assists in your collective awakening process, and it is why you incarnated. Some of the older ones among you may be wondering why you are still living physical lives while many others who are much younger are dying. Do not grieve their deaths, for they have returned home to eternal joy. This is not a meaningful question for you to wrestle with. Everyone in human form is precisely where they have chosen to be to fulfill the task for which they incarnated, and everyone without exception does complete the task they have undertaken most beautifully. There are no accidents. Everything has a divine purpose, so place all your trust fully into the hands of God and know that all is well. With so very much love.